morning and welcome to the Life program. My name is Rachel Hugenberg. I'm the current host of Life. And this morning we have with us one of our fabulous children's specialists, Usha Dontharaju. And she's going to be here to discuss with us the celebration of Holi, which a lot of us know from photos and things as a color festival. But I'm really excited to get to know more about it, and she's brought us some fantastic recipes. So Usha, if you would please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So you all know me. I have been in the library for quite a while, and this is the first virtual presentation that I'm doing for Life. I'm really excited about this. So today we are talking about a festival called Holi, and it is a festival from India. So, and it's like you see in the PowerPoint, it is a very, very colorful festival and very famous, and it's an awesome festival that everybody can celebrate. And we can talk more about that in our next part of the presentation. And we will be talking about some recipes. So the first question you probably all are thinking, what is Holi? So Holi is a festival of colors, and so everybody, we play Holi with colors, and so it's a celebration of friendship and love and all those good things in life. Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is why is Holi celebrated? So Holi is celebrated, it signifies the start of spring. And in India too, unlike Australia and over here, so we pretty much have the similar kind of timings. So the winter is getting over and warm temperatures are starting. Spring has started. So that is where we celebrate with color, putting color on each other, and that signifies the start of spring. And also it signifies the start of the harvest season. So that is where we celebrate a good harvest, and things are going well, and the start of the new springtime. That is what it is celebrated for. And to start off with, I was looking forward to share a recipe with you that we made for this particular program.
Sorry about the transitions, y'all. The program takes a little bit of a second with the transitions to different things.
Hello everyone, my name is Usha Dontharaju. I'm from the LSC Sci-Fi Library, and I work in the Kids Corner. So today I wanted to share with you some recipes that we make for a festival called Holi. So Holi is a festival of colors that is celebrated in the month of March in India, as the spring is arriving and the temperatures are heating up. So we celebrate this with color powder that we...
I am so sorry, ladies and gents. I am having some technical difficulties this morning. Please bear with us while I get the video up.
Share with you some recipes that we make for a festival called Holi. So Holi is a festival of colors that is celebrated in the month of March in India, as the spring is arriving and the temperatures are heating up. So we celebrate this with color powder that we put on people, and this is also a celebration of friendship, where people, you know them, you don't know them, you just go and put color and enjoy. So it is a very nice and fun festival, and we will be celebrating it with some cool recipes. So join me, and we will be the first one that we will be making. It is called a kulfi. So, and for that we will need the recipe. The ingredients we need is whole milk, condensed milk, some almonds, some pistachios. Now both these will be the unsalted kind, and we will also need some fennel seeds. We will be adding a pinch of a little bit of salt in the end before we blend all these together. So join me as I get making the no cook kulfi. We have taken 1 cup of condensed milk, put that into the blender. One and two cups of whole milk, and we blend this all together. Make sure it blends well. Next, we are going to crush just a few almonds. Okay. And we will take a few of the pistachio nuts. We'll take just a little bit of fennel seeds, which would be half teaspoon. And we are going to give it a blend and make it into a powder. Put it into coarse powder. Just can be coarse like this. Doesn't need to be really fine. So now the next thing we do is just give 1 shake of salt to the mix that we have over here, and we're gonna give it a mix. And next all we do is we have our little cups as a containers, and we go ahead and sprinkle some in the bottom, some of this powder. And we will put slowly our mix, fill it about 3/4, and we will take little foil squares, put it over it carefully, and fold it over the edges. And we will take a little knife and give it a little bitty cut. We have one of our popsicle sticks that we will keep right in the center like that, and we are going to put it in a stable container, and we are going to fill up the rest of these, and we will put it in the refrigerator in the freezer section. So let us go ahead and put it in the freezer, and we will freeze it overnight for 4 to 6 hours or 6 to 8 hours. Just freeze it overnight, and it is ready to be enjoyed in the morning. The ingredients we will need is
Alrighty. And I'm just gonna
and yes, thank you so much. So Rachel and everyone, before we move on to the next slide and talk about that, so once we made the kulfi and I tasted it, so the little variation that I felt was the condensed milk was a little extra sweet for my family, so you can always adjust it by adding a little more milk or leaving it as is, depending on your kind of sweet tooth and how you would like it. So, but my family, they personally found the condensed milk flavor to be coming across way too much. So you can put a little extra milk in that. Or also when you mix it first, you can taste it before you pour it into the containers. And so the next I wanted to talk about was how is it celebrated? So Holi is celebrated by, as you can see in the picture, we have powder. So the powder, colored powder, you can find it in the Indian stores anywhere near you, or we can always look up for Indian stores near me. And in those is where you will find the powders that we play with. So usually before Corona started, we would gather. So there are like huge events that happen, and we would go to a huge park outside somewhere, and a lot of people, they gather and they put color on each other. And we also use colored water. So there would be huge tubs filled with water, and that would get, you put the color in it and mix it up into colored water. And like how we do the water balloons in summer, right? So it's something like that. You can play with water balloons too. And so we use something called a pichkari. So it's called a pichkari, and it's like a water gun, like the Nerf water gun we have over here. So you fill it up with water and you squirt onto everyone and you play with that. So you throw colors and you play with the watercolors as well. So in India, what happens is as everyone gets comfortable with each other, or you want to pull a prank on someone. So what people also do is first they will break an egg on you, and then they will put the color. So it'll get stuck onto you, and everybody's like, "Ah, what did you do? If now I have egg all over me and this color. I don't know if it'll come off or not." So you pull pranks like that on each other, or you just play plain Holi, and you just throw color on each other and put colored water on each other as well. So what happens is by the end of the celebration, you come out looking like you cannot recognize who the person is. So you're full of color, and the color stays on you for a couple days, and just scrubbing it off. So it's a lot of fun trying to do that. And the next slide. All right. So when is Holi celebrated? So Holi is celebrated in India. In Hinduism, we usually follow the lunar calendar. So the moon. So usually the Gregorian calendar we know is the solar calendar, right? So we follow the sun. In India, in Hinduism, we follow the lunar calendar. So on a normal basis, we still follow everything. It's Sunday, Monday, and January, February. But when it comes to special days or festivals, or when you're getting married, or there's a special event and everything, so we follow the lunar calendar for all those special events. So this one is also, so it comes as per the lunar calendar. So in that, it comes on the full moon day in the month of Falguna. So it's called Falguna. And that is roughly in March. And that is why it's not a same date. So it's not like February 14th. So we don't get the same date. So usually you look at the lunar calendar, and that is how we get the dates, which is different each month, each time, each year. It comes out to be a different date. So we do not have one particular date for this, and we just follow the first full moon, and so that is the time that we celebrate this. Yes. So where is Holi celebrated? So in India, majority. So everybody, literally everybody in India celebrates Holi. And it is also celebrated in Nepal as a country. And of course, the Indian diaspora, so everywhere in the world. And it's so it's not, so the one question we may have is it a Hindu festival? So yes, it did start off as an Hindu festival. But what happens is, since it's a festival of colors, everybody, so all across the world, everybody whoever likes to play with colors or wants to learn about this and play is included, and everybody can play. So it is celebrated literally all across the world these days.
We do have a brief question, which is, do you attend the Houston Holi celebration? And it's listed as being in May this year.
So yeah, so basically, as we are going ahead still, and it probably will still not be an indoor or so it will not be a huge event like it used to be. So basically, it is getting postponed, and as we are getting, everybody's getting vaccinated, and people are getting a little comfortable, and you believe that you can go. So again, it is up to our, what do you say, our personal preference, if we can go, if we want to go or not. But usually it is in the month of March, and it is a really huge event. And yes, this year it is getting postponed a little. And last year we did not have it at all. So the kids missed it tremendously. So this year it's getting postponed a little bit.
Okay.
Yes. And we can see the next food video.
Okay. All right, and you all are seeing the video, yes?
We see the screen. Now we are about to start it. It still says it's paused.
Okay.
That we will be talking about today is it is called Malpua. So it is it's a small pancake. It's a small version, a different version of the pancake from India, and it is called Malpua. So for that we will need, the ingredients we will need is wheat flour, some all-purpose flour, a pinch of baking soda, a pinch of salt, a pinch of saffron, and some fennel seeds, some peppercorn, some ghee. So ghee is a clarified butter, or for me, I take the unsalted butter and melt it down. So that is what we will be using to fry the malpua in. And we will need some yogurt. This is plain yogurt. We will make sure that we do not have anything that is any flavor, not even vanilla or anything. It's just plain non-flavor yogurt. And then we will need some honey to soak this malpua in at the end. And let's see how to make it. First, we will be taking half cup of wheat flour. And then to that, we will add 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour. And we will the yogurt, which is 2 teaspoons. Oh, and we forgot to talk about the banana. So the flavor is coming from the banana. So this we are going to cut it up and add it directly to our mix. And next we will add a pinch of baking soda, and we will be adding a pinch of salt, another little bit of few strands of saffron. So next we will be adding, we will have to make it into a fine, we'll have to make it into powder. So that will be half teaspoon of fennel seeds and a few peppercorns. So we will be crushing that together and making a powder. And add this powder to this. We have the powder ready. So this also we have just made it into a coarse powder. Sprinkle that in. and we are ready to give it a mix. So we have mixed all the ingredients together, and we are going to add a little water as needed to get to a pouring consistency. So our the batter that we have is of a pouring consistency, and we are going to set it aside till we prepare for 10 minutes, and we will get to the preparing the rest of the things that we need to work on. So for the malpua to soak in, we are using honey, and that is a 1/3 cup of honey that we will take. And to this we will add 1/4 cup of warm water. And we will mix it slowly. So this is like the sugar syrup that we use. So this is what the malpua will be getting soaked in once it is made. So next I have taken a pan to shallow fry the malpuas in ghee. So we are going to take some ghee. And we will take just enough to cover the pan because we will be doing shallow fry. And we will heat it very low, so it will be kind of medium and just a little over medium. That's it. Medium flame. So we do the little drop of the batter. Yes, the ghee is ready. Now we are going to pour carefully. Spread it a little bit. And we are going to lower the flame to medium and low. Turned. It goes. Nice and golden brown. Okay, let us flip it over and check. Nice. All right, it is ready to be dunked in honey mix. Keep it dunked in there. And there we go. And now we are ready for the एक और डालते हैं. Now we are ready for the next one. Our second one is ready. Here we go. And remember the powder that we had made for the kulfi? We can sprinkle it right on top. And we are ready to eat it. Delicious malpua is ready. Melt in your mouth. Yummy. Join me for another recipe. Hi, and the next recipe.
All right.
All right. So before we go on to the next slide, I just wanted to say it was quite a while since I made that sweet. So we happened to stumble upon it when we went to a restaurant in India, and my son, he had it, and he said, "Oh, what is this?" He loved it so much. So because usually my family is not much of a sweet tooth kind of people. So when he loved it a lot, so I went ahead and I learned the recipe and I started making. And once he went to college, it pretty much did not get made again. So it was quite nice to make it after quite some time. And so for this also, I had a certain thing. All right, so I'll come back to that when I get it. I lost it. I totally forgot about what I wanted to talk about. So, what do you wear for Holi? So, what do you wear? So, when you go traditionally in India, when you talk about India, it's usually referred to as like north part of India or southern part of India. So in the northern part of India is where the festival originally started being held or observed. And they have more traditional ways of playing it. And in southern part of India, it's more, different and it evolved over time. So traditionally in the northern part of India, what you do is you wear something white. So people usually they go buy themselves a new white, so it's called a kurta. So something like what I'm wearing, it would usually have small sleeves or kind of long sleeves or no sleeves at all. But this is called a kurta, what I'm wearing. And so that is usually white in color. And so the bottom, it is called a churidar or the leggings like we know. So, or the yoga pants. So it's just a tight pants that go over your feet, legs, or something loose like a palazzo pants. So something loose. But traditionally it is white. So, and that is where you're receptive to all the colors and you get all the different colors onto your kurta. So that is one way of doing it. And the other way of doing it is sometimes like you have any t-shirt, old t-shirt that you don't want to wear anymore. And so that is what also you can wear because I'm assuring you, you cannot wear that dress once again after you played Holi in it. So you wear something that you can just get rid of once you come back home. And if you do happen to play outside, like let us say you have, so these days usually I think what everybody is doing is you have like a few set of friends, like a couple friends that you're meeting with. So you can always meet with them and you can play. And if you're planning to get back into your car after doing that, I suggest that you keep some towels in your car that you lay on your seat and then you sit on it if you have played like with a lot of colors. So, but yeah, trust me, if you are playing it a little, like how we get after, a couple minutes, we get pretty wild with the colors. So if that happens, you will be fully covered And for us, what happens is literally you'll be discovering the color come out of your ears even after 2 days, and it'll be in your hair even after 2 days after you have washed it. So yeah, you would wear something that you would not need to wear later again. Different and unique traditions of Holi. So this is one thing that we also came across. Uh, it's uh, it's mm, uh, it's not an understatement if you say that to discover India, you will need it. It needs more than a lifetime. So there are so many things that even as now I still keep learning about. And there are still so many traditions that we don't know yet. So the one different thing that we got to know about is it is called Latmar Holi. So in the northern part of India, in a couple states called Gujarat and Rajasthan, and in Bihar. So what they have is so the ladies, they go with a stick in their hand. So this is this applicable to married people. So the ladies, so they would go with a stick in their hand, and the men, so they come out with something called, like how we have the sword and the shield. So they have something like a shield. So this is the time and one day that the women are given where they can vent out their frustration and they can beat up their husbands. So it's called Latmar Holi. So lat is the stick that they're talking about. Mar is beat. So beat with a stick. So this is one day where you can let go of your frustrations and beat up your husband, and it is okay to do so. So now the trick is for the husband to save himself, and he's like, and he's protecting himself. So it's like a very playful way, and nothing intentional that you actually want to beat up your husband. No. So it's a very playful way of where you do this, and so it's something like you take out your frustrations, and you're like, so that is one tradition that we have. And also, so the tradition of Holi came across as a celebration of love. And so that is, we have a god called Krishna in Hinduism. I'm guessing many of you know about him. So as he was growing up, so Krishna is depicted as somebody who is the color of cloud, the color of a cloud. So the color of a heavy cloud would be dark gray or black or blue. So he's depicted in those colors. And as he was growing up, he sees all the other girls around him as a pretty fair and nice skin complexion. And he goes and asks his mom, why am I dark in color? And how come all the girls are, they're looking so good and they're so fair in color? So the mom says, I didn't know, I didn't see all that. So then he said, you know what, why don't you put some colors on the girls? So, and then that is how the tradition started, where he puts the colors on girls to tease them. And this heralds the arrival of spring. So that is how this whole festival started. All right. So the powder that we use, there are some families who are sticklers for making their own, for organic. So these days also we have the organic powders that are available in different stores all across Houston, and you can order them from Amazon as well. So the powders you can order them or buy them. So a lot of families, they used to traditionally, what they would do is dry the flower petals of different colors. So all the flowers that you have, like the rose petals or sunflowers or any flowers that you have. So they would dry those flower petals and make them into powders, and that is what they would use to put color on each other. So this can be any way that you would like, and you can always, so if you're, hopefully next year we have an event that would be big and we could all go over there. So usually at the venues is where you can purchase the colors as well. And you can always purchase if you're planning to have a mini celebration in your yard or something with your family, with your friends. you can always look it up in a Indian store near you, and you can always purchase over there. So over there too, you can ask for, I'm sure some of them would carry the herbal or the organic kind, if you're not very comfortable with the regular ones that are available. So you would have different options that each store would carry. And you can always call them ahead and ask them if they have what you would want, or you can go to the store and look for something that you would like. And if you're planning to do something like a mini celebration, do look for a water gun that you can always, because I'm sure all the water guns are already in stores right now. So you can always plan to play with the water guns as well. And we can look at the next video. Yes, and food and drink. So for the drink is the last video that we will be showing. That we will be talking, and the next recipe that we will be talking about is, it's called thandai. So it's a powder that we will be making, that we will be using to mix it into milk, which is cold. And once we mix it, we decorate it with some rose petals, or if we do not have that in hand, we can always use some rose water. All right, so for that, what do we need? The ingredients we need is some cashews, some pistachios, some almonds, a few peppercorns, some fennel seeds, and some cardamom. I have already the seeds that I have, some poppy seeds, and few saffron strands. So we will be adding all this to a blender and make it into a powder, and we are ready to make the thandai. And our thandai masala powder is ready. It smells gorgeous. So for this, how we make the actual thandai is, so I just took some, because the milk was not really cold, I just took some ice. Take any whole milk, 2%, anything that you have. And we will put, for this, 1 spoon. And usually dried rose petals are the ones that are used in this, but since I do not have that on hand, we are going to be using the rose water. And that, since it has, we will be using only half a teaspoon. Give it a good mix, and it is ready. And you can always sprinkle some more right on top. And it is ready. Happy Holi!
Okay, and
All right. So for this recipe as well, what I discovered was, for the half cup of milk that I had taken, I had put 1 spoon, and I felt, ooh, it looks so much. But you can always adjust, because as when I had it, I felt that the flavor was not coming across as much as I would want it to. So you can always adjust it. You can start with a spoon, and then you can add some more, because I felt that it could take some more. And then the rose water also, if you would like that, if you like the flavor of that, you can add a little more or a little less as per how you like it. So in India, usually what happens is everybody has the knockout roses. Yeah, that was the name I was trying to get. So the knockout roses is the most prevalent one that everybody has in their yards. So those are what you would dry. So usually that's what they would do. Like you would just have your, in the yard, that the roses that you have, or any kind of roses that you buy. So you rinse it off well and you dry. So those rose petals are the ones that are used to flavor this. And when you decorate it, it dresses it up so well, it looks beautiful, absolutely. So, but I could not find some, and that's why I did not use that. But you can always adjust the ingredients like the powder and the rose water as per what you would like. And traditionally in India, what happens is there is, so this is the thandai. And in both the recipes in the Malpua and this one, you notice that I was using peppercorn. So peppercorn again is, so all these spices are used for the immunity boosting kind of spices. So you would notice that a lot of these kind of spices are used in the recipes that we have. And fennel seeds, so that also I wanted to talk about. So fennel seeds is like a mouth freshener for us. So it gives a very fresh burst of flavor, and the smell is just divine. I just love that smell. And it is also used as a mouth freshener. So usually at the end of a meal, because you have already had all these spices and different kind of things that you have had in your meal. So the saunf, so we call it saunf. Fennel seeds are usually used as a mouth freshener at the end of a meal. And the guests are given the saunf or the fennel seeds, and you take a little and keep chewing on it. So that is used as a mouth freshener as well. And it has a digestive element too. So that is why it is used in the end of a meal and in the recipes as well. And the smell, I just love the smell. And so that would about wrap up my part of the presentation. And anybody has any questions for me? Anything that you would like me to further talk about? You can let me know.
We have a comment from Laurie that it looks really yummy, and I can completely agree with that.
And oh yeah, so the other thing I wanted to talk about was the use of honey for the Malpua. So again, as many of you know, we sometimes, a few of us would like to avoid sugar, right? So, and we add honey to our tea. So that is another way where you're trying to avoid the sugar and use honey and water. So, and to warm up the honey, like you saw, mine was pretty sticky, right? So even if I have kept it in the pantry, it becomes kind of solidified. So to warm it, you really don't cook it, right? So that is why you use warm water, and that is where you have made it into a liquid with warm water, because you don't want to cook it or warm it to make it into a liquid state. So that was another tip that I wanted to talk about, because usually what happens is the Malpua, sometimes that you may see in some recipes, they would put it in a sugar syrup at the end. So you could do that too. So the sugar syrup is you take water, 1 cup of sugar, half cup of water, you melt it down. And you know the sugar consistency, how the one string consistency. So once it reaches that is when you turn it off, and you put the malpua or the pancake in that to flavor it. So once it soaks and gets all the flavor into that, it turns like totally yummy. And then you would also see on the net different versions of the recipe. So there's another one that is called Rabdi Malpua. So the Rabdi is a reduction of milk. So the milk is, you put that to boil, and you keep boiling it till it reduces to half, and you flavor it with some sugar. That is what you pour over it. So you could do that too. And you could sprinkle some cashew nuts or pistachios on top for the color, for the green color. So you could do that as well. So that's another version of what you would see. So let us say when you go to a restaurant and you ask for malpua, if they have that on the menu, so you would see the white drizzling on top, the white color drizzling on top. So that would be the rabdi. So that's called the rabdi, and that's the milk reduction that is on top.
Okay, so do we have any questions or comments for Usha? There's a notation about maybe doing some book bundles in the future for Holi. Please know we do have kind of prepackaged book bundles available, and you can call in and pick those up. So if you're just looking for something to read, that's always a great place to start. Are there specific resources that you would go to, Usha, if people wanted to learn more about Holi?
Yes, so there are so always anything in Wikipedia. So Wikipedia, it's my usual go-to. So just say Holi and Wikipedia. So they have pretty much all the information that is covered, and that would be my main go-to. And then to purchase anything, I don't know if everybody knows. So south of Houston, so we have this place called Hillcroft Avenue. So Hillcroft Avenue is pretty much the all kind of Indian stores that you would be looking for. So once you go to Hillcroft Avenue, you have everything, like the food, anything to shop for, anything to wear, everything. So you could visit that place over the weekend. And also, so there was another place called Pondicherry in the River Oaks area. So they have Holi specials that they would be serving up on Sunday. So Sunday is Holi 28th. And so also the Holi, it usually takes place over 2 days. So the first day is called the Choti Holi, or the small Holi, little Holi. So on Choti Holi is where everybody has a bonfire in the evening. So because the evenings are still cool and cold, so you have a bonfire. So the significance of that is where you are, taking away all your troubles or anything that you're just burning it away, kind. So anything that is bogging you down, and you're getting prepared for the new year, and everything that is new and spring and fresh. So that is the significance of Choti Holi, where you have a bonfire. And the next day is when we have the actual celebration of Holi. So in India, usually what happens is there's a whole bunch of people who don't like to play Holi. They're like, I don't like to get colored. I don't want to get wet. So, and they stay indoors. And usually the pranks, what happen is when you try to go knock on their doors and they don't know who it is, and they think it is a FedEx guy, they open the door and they're like, bam, it is Holi hai. So the usual thing that you say is Holi hai. And also, when we say is the festival of friendship, so usually what happens is, like in my neighborhood, let us say, in your neighborhood, everybody comes out to play. You know the person, you don't know the person. So this is one day where you're free to do, and you just go put color, and nobody minds. So the people who like to play, that is. So the people who don't like to play, they stay indoors. They're like, I'm not opening the door. I'm not coming outside. You cannot trick me. So this is one place where one time where you can play Holi with anyone and everyone. You just go play, put colors on them, and they will not mind. And they will just put color right back on you. And like, let us say, like usually we used to go for a big gathering, and there's a group of people that seem to be enjoying way more than us. So we just put color on them and just get into their group. That's it. So it's kind of, you don't know them, you just still go play with them, and it becomes like one big happy group that everybody starts talking to each other, and just make a new friend. So that is also the other significance, that this is one time that you can just play with anybody. So the tagline that goes with that is "Bura na mano, Holi hai." So in Hindi, that is what we say: "Bura na mano, Holi hai." So that is, don't feel bad or don't mind. It is Holi. So we're gonna play Holi, and we're gonna put color on you, and we're gonna play with you. So that's what that means. And anything else that you would, so yeah, the other question I think I had was, did anybody else hear about Holi? Did everybody know about this festival, or this would be the first time that you know about it?
I knew a little bit, but definitely not a whole lot in the details and where it actually comes from. So I'm really excited to get to learn more about that, and
Yeah.
to be able to celebrate in one of, my favorite ways, which is food.
Yes, right?
So, happy Holi, everybody. And if we have any further questions or comments for Usha, this will be posted to our YouTube fairly soon. so that if you want to rewatch the recipes or if you want to just learn a little bit more about Holi or share it with another person, you certainly can.
Yes. And you can always Slack me, and I can give you
Yes.
any other tips that you would like.
And if you are one of our public patrons, you can send your questions to me via email and I will pass them on to Usha. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Usha, for joining us this morning. It's been a lot of fun to get to learn more about Holi and how this holiday works and what people wear and eat and where to get things in the city. And next week we will be having in Professor Raul Reyes. He is a professor here at Lone Star, and he's coming into life to talk about Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez for Cesar Chavez Day. And it is our final wrap up of our celebration of Women's Month as well. So do please join us for that next week at 10 a.m. We're getting some comments for Usha, which are Happy Holi from and thank you. Enjoyed learning the details about the celebration. Thank you, Usha.
Thank you so
But I
much.
really appreciate your being willing to come out and talk about this really important festival. It's been really fun, and hopefully you all will get to try some delicious treats. And we will
Yes.
hopefully see you next week.
All right. Thank you so much,
All
everyone. Thank
right.
you so much for joining me. This was an awesome opportunity. Thank you, Rachel.
All right, everybody. Hopefully see you next week. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.